Hello.
Hello.
I'm going to try to set up the new set of topics really quickly.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
All right, there we go. There is at least now a date for today. Feel free to add any topics.
I was wondering actually if the ones in the quote unquote 2.8 right below this are actually for this meeting too, because there's two 2.8s.
Yeah,
True.
I think they are.
Are they? That makes sense. I don't remember talking about them.
Well, then I can just do this.
Wow. Advanced.
Magic. All right, let's see. Another minute or two for people to come in, and then we'll get started. All righty. Let's just get this rolling while people can continue to add items. But welcome to another very special CF on Kubernetes Working Group Forum. We have a few topics. The first one looks like a tutorial for usage of deploy-on-kind, and then some additional notes on that. Does anyone have the context on that?
We could always
coming. He's just not here yet.
Just reorder stuff.
Okay, that works. We will get back to that then. So let me move it around. But the next topic that we can currently do is who wants swag? And that seems rather rhetorical.
So I have a coupon code that folks can use. It should knock off the cost of the swag bundle as well as shipping. At least the basic stuff, that's what I tested. So I'll get in touch with folks on Slack, or you can ping me whenever you have a minute. And I think the URL is pretty clear, store.cloudfoundry.org. And then there's like a code that you can use for the big fat discount. So
Cool. All sounds good. Welcome, Eric, and welcome, Giuseppe. So we kind of reordered that so that we could cover a topic while we had the last remaining few people show up. So let's move on. So Giuseppe, there's a tutorials link with usage of deploy-on-kind and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so this went up, I think, this week, and it looks really nice. It's like a web page, a really well-made web page with tutorials about Korefi. I didn't know this was happening, but it's fine. It looks really good. I think what I did as soon as I saw it is just go through it just to make sure there were not any errors. I think I found a little thing to remove and it's already been merged. So all good. I have a couple of questions about, like, I wanted to ask like the team in general about a couple of things that are on there that could potentially, I don't know, that we might not agree on. Like, for example, the tutorial about local install just recommends people to use deploy-on-kind, which means, I guess, lots of people with lots of different configs will try to use deploy-on-kind now because they will find it on the tutorial. So how do we feel about that? Because I guess there has always been a bit of a fear that, like, if we had to support lots of, if we're going to make that script like an install script, then it would become like very expensive to maintain. But on the other hand, like, even if it's just targeted at contributors, we might still get contributors with lots of different configurations and lots of different OSs and stuff. So we might still have to, spend that effort to make sure that it runs on everyone's machine. So it's probably fine, but I still wanted to check with that. And then there's a paragraph about production that pretty much says it's not production ready, but you might still want to try it. It's like very cautiously worded, but I wanted to check with people about what they think about it. Other than that, just really very nice effort. I've already added it as the web page link on our GitHub repository. And I was also wondering if we want to like explicitly call it out in the README maybe, because it would be a shame not to. So yeah.
So just a little background on that, Giuseppe. So the Cloud Foundry Foundation works with Steve Greenberg. He's part of this organization called R-Scale, and they did a lot of work with the cloud.gov folks about adopting Cloud Foundry and things like that. So one of the things that they've historically been doing is creating tutorials for all our projects. And so this effort stems from that connection. So it was intended as a first release, just for something that can live on the Cloud Foundry website itself, alongside some of the older stuff that they've done about Cloud Foundry on VMs. And they also had like a Katacoda tutorial for Cloud Foundry. So I think it's now migrated to Killer Coda or whatever the replacement is. But the effort is basically out of a long-standing relationship that the foundation has had with Steve and R-Scale, for what it's worth. So that's the background in which this was created. There's probably going to be tutorials on other projects too that we'll add to that. But yeah, we just thought we'd get something very basic going for Korefi, and then sort of open it up to the larger community for feedback and things like that.
Yeah, they look really nice. I guess we could have taken a look before they went up, but even if we just took a look right after they went up, and it's fine. I think we fixed what we wanted to fix, and they look great. And we should link them.
We've not had an official release yet, to be honest. Although it is live and it's on the main URL and things like that. We'll post it once folks in this working group feel comfortable about the content and the accuracy and every other aspect of it in general, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to raise the issue, so that if anyone, I would encourage everyone in the group to just have a quick read. It's not much stuff, and see if you feel like everything resonates, and if there's anything you want to fix. There's a Git repository connected to it, so you can just PR fixes straight away. And yeah, maybe, I don't know, what does it mean to officially, given it's live, what does it mean to release it? Because then we should probably wait that day to also make it, to also refer to it in our README and in our Git repository.
Yeah, I guess that makes a little sense, because if all the PRs that are outstanding have been fixed, and we can set a date for it, like, I don't know, March 3rd or something like that. We can have that released, and by released I mean open it up to the Cloud Foundry community, put it on social media, put it on our blog, what have you. So just maybe write a byline or two and have those published in the meantime. So we've not posted about it anywhere. So that's really what I mean by a release more than anything.
Okay, so yeah, let's wait and then coordinate on a date, and then at that point we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
But I'd also like to just chat about the issues that you brought up. So the deploy on kind thing, I think, has an important connotation, which is historically Cloud Foundry has not been known for its lightweight releases. So if somebody wanted to try it on their laptop first before actually pushing it on a cloud provider somewhere, Cloud Foundry has never been able to do that, at least not popularly. One of the changes that we're kind of, I must say, proud of with Koryphi is that it's possible to try it on a laptop before you do it anywhere else. So if I have some kind clusters deployed on the laptop, I can install Koryphi on it, and I can try it, and I can get that experience locally without having to use a credit card in some form or manner. I don't want to say spend money, but so just very low barrier to entry, and something that people can use where they're probably really just kicking the tires around. So that's the big win, in my opinion, for the usage of deploy on kind. But if you really feel that it might end up being more trouble than it's worth to write and maintain, then we could think of ways around it, to be honest.
Yeah, as I said, like I don't think we can ever assume that it's only going to be used by just people who work on it on the day by day, because it's going to be used by anyone who wants to contribute. And it will need, anyone who wants to contribute will need to use it in one way or the other. So some effort to make it run on a relatively wide range of configurations is needed anyway. I would say one thing we could do is maybe look at how expensive it becomes, like now that it's been put in the tutorials, etc. And if we feel like it's too expensive, we might want to restrict, like basically give it stricter requirements. At the moment, the requirements are like, oh, if you have kind running, it should run. We might think about, I don't know, require certain versions of Bash or certain versions of, the other dependencies, if we feel like it becomes too expensive. Until then, I wouldn't worry too much. If we start getting 12 PRs a week about people trying to make it work on all sorts of environments, then it's like, no, this is too much. We need to make it easier. But until then, we've got one, and we've merged it, and it's kind of fine. So maybe we shouldn't worry about it until the problem actually, surfaces.
I think that having such a script that installs everything, and provided that it works at least for our workstations, is a great living documentation on how to install Koryphi on kind. I mean, even if it fails on your specific environment, you can figure out what to do instead of just reading some outdated docs that are not relevant anymore. So as long as it is clear that this is a dev script and it may break, I'm even happy to have the script, because this is the next best thing after just running a simple helm command, helm install from URL.
Yeah, because the helm installation, the other thing is this installs main, right? This installs the head of the repository, which is also something that maybe it's like, if you just want to play with it, it would be nice to just install latest release, but this installs main, which might be broken for who knows which reason. And I don't think we want to script out the other, or maybe we do, I don't know. It kind of the deploy-on-kind kind of does the job because we always test main and we make sure all PRs are green before they go in. So main is actually relatively stable. But yeah, if you just want to try out Corifi, you might get a commit that is not 100% working. I don't know.
Yeah, and to add on to what Danny said, like I think since it's scoped to kind, we won't have the issues we had with some of the CF4Kates deploy scripts, which were like meant to be run against an arbitrary IaaS, and like the surface area was just so huge there. Like I don't see a huge problem with people using it.
But should we have a script that installs releases? Or should we modify deploy-on-kind to be able of also installing releases? Maybe we should just tell people to check out the latest release tag. That would be the easiest thing.
For doing that, because it's just skipping KBOS part, right? It's just skipping a little part, and it will be even quicker. No need to build anything.
Yeah, but also, that's true. But the easiest way to just, without the need to change the script at all, is just in the tutorials tell people, list tags, pick up the latest, check, like switch to that one, and then run deploy-on-kind. That kind of guarantees that you're installing a released version, which is supposed to work.
Yeah, that has the upside that I guess if we introduce a release option, we'll never use it. So it might just fall out and break down. Well, deploy-on-kind is something that you use daily, so maybe that makes sense.
Like, I mean, you could tell people they can do that, but I feel like the type of person cloning the repo and running deploy-on-kind already can figure out that they can check out a tag and deploy it. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think what's in the tutorial is actually okay. And like I saw, like we had one contribution where someone like changed a couple of commands so it worked with their like older version of Bash, and like that's fine. Like it wasn't like they were like just like yelling at us that was broken or anything. They took it on them to fix it. So I don't know. I feel like if that's the type of engagement where just like every now and then stuff like that trickles in, it's not going to be a huge ordeal or anything.
Cool. So it sounds like right now we're in a decent spot and we don't need any action, but we should just sort of like keep our thumb on it and see what happens, see if there are any problems, and go from there. Cool. Thanks for bringing that up.
Sorry, Birdrock. I just
Sure.
wanted to interject about the contentious paragraph about is Corifi ready for production? Do folks feel that it doesn't really add much value in its current form? There's other answers that we could potentially create, where we say we have like a bunch of things on our roadmap which we imagine will make it more suitable for production, or something like that. Or obviously there's always the option of completely removing that particular item from the FAQ. So any feedback is welcome, and if we can collectively decide upon something to something we can act on, then let's definitely do that.
Cool. As far as, I think there's one trailing bit, which is linking from the README. I think that'd probably be a good idea, because I don't think it's discoverable. I don't think it is discoverable or very easily discoverable yet.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it feels like we can definitely link from the README as soon as all of the open PRs that we have right now are closed, and we don't have any urgent ones that are being opened at that point of time. So I'd imagine checking back in on like the 1st of March and just linking it to the README then.
Cool, sounds good. So let's put a note in here. Cool. All right, so our final topic is Kpack caching and app image relationship.
Cool. Yeah, so Danny mentioned this morning that somebody from SAP was getting some good results by turning on Kpack caching. And Giuseppe and I were looking at garbage collecting Kpack stuff today, and we sort of got a bit sidetracked and had a look at it. So yeah, at the moment, it seems Kpack image has a cache field, and you can choose to either make it create a PVC for the cache, or you can specify a registry tag, so it'll go and store it in an image somewhere in a registry. We played around and we stuck a image tag that was using the app GUID in the Kpack image. So every push from a particular app would use the same image cache. And yeah, you get some really nice results. I mean, so Dora was taking 48 seconds to push on my machine, and then the second one took 23 seconds. So halved it basically, which was nice. But yeah, it seems to do the PVC thing by default most of the time and create a 2 gig PVC to cache. And then we're wondering why that seems to make no difference then. And that's because when you push an app again, you get a new build workload and you get a new image. So an image is only ever used for one build, so the cache is irrelevant at the moment. And I know people talked about Kpack getting things from the registry, and how when we had one droplet tag per app, it should help with caching. I'm not. It doesn't seem to work that way, but maybe somebody could help there.
It doesn't help with the way we use it, I don't think. But like, so that's like something. There's Kpack here, and then there's like cloud native build packs, and the cloud native build packs will try to pull the latest from their image so that they can like reuse some artifacts there. But Kpack has like additional caching layers on top of it. You found those volumes and like ability to store stuff in a dedicated image. So like if our build was like rebuilding from the same image, then I think it pulling it would be more useful there. But I'm not sure.
Yeah. So we were wondering, could we change the relationship so each build workload would reuse an image which had a one-to-one relationship with the app if it existed?
Yeah, I don't remember why we didn't do that. Like that was suggested as something we could do when we started doing the Kpack builder. And I think it's like very simple to think of it as one image per build workload, but like I don't know, it might be worth poking on that a bit harder and see why we can't share.
Yeah, it looks like a reasonable idea. If something goes wrong, something goes wrong. But yeah, I think we'll do a little explore about that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks for taking on looking at that.
It's not a lot of code changes either. We're already using the app GUID to go and construct the droplet tag, so we have that available. And we're already doing an owner ref from the build workload onto the image, so we could just do that multiple times, and then when all the build workloads disappear, I think the image would go.
Yeah, I think the thing we need to do is make it so that you can't spawn simultaneous builds. Like there should only be one running at once. I think that is like some of the complexity there. Because if you like create like 3 builds at the same time, they're all gonna like try to update that Kpack image, and it's unclear which one actually wins out and stuff. But I feel like there should be ways to limit it. And I don't think the use case of like spawning multiple builds at the same time is something people actually do in real life either. It's just something theoretically possible with CF.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All right. So unless there are additional last minute topics that people want to throw into the mix, I think we can wrap this meeting up. All right. Cool. Well, thank you all for coming. And we'll see you again in about 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.